toughest guy you ever fought?
A lot of them tough, but the hardest, I think, Dwight Muhammad Qawi.
He was only 5'7" in a division full of giants. The world didn't know his name. Only the guards at Rahway State Prison did. And they knew him as Inmate 57735. This is the story of how a guy with every reason to fail didn't just survive his sentence, but actually turned it into a weapon. This is the incredible story of how Dwight Braxton, the armed robber, became Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Dwight Braxton, born in Baltimore, Maryland, and raised on the tough streets of Camden, New Jersey. In the 70s, Camden was a city hit hard by poverty and crime, and it didn't take long for a young Braxton to get tangled up in it. He got into trouble a lot as a kid, with his first arrest at just 14 years old. This all led to a conviction for armed robbery and a 5-year sentence in one of Jersey's toughest prisons, Rahway State. Now for most guys, that's where the story ends. But for Dwight, prison wasn't the end, it was a weird kind of beginning. Inside those walls, he found the one thing that could save him: boxing. Rahway had a seriously high-level boxing program where inmates could become nationally ranked contenders. One of its stars was a light heavyweight named James Scott, who even had his fights broadcast on TV from inside the prison. For Braxton, fighting started as a way to survive, but the ring gave him something more. It gave him discipline, a purpose, and a way to channel all that rage that got him there in the first place. It was in Rahway that Dwight Braxton found his calling. When Dwight Braxton got out of prison in March of 1978, he was 25 and totally focused. With 0 amateur fights under his belt, he walked straight into the legendary Joe Frazier's gym in Philadelphia. It was there, sparring with tough, seasoned pros, that he started sharpening the raw skills he'd picked up behind the bars. He developed a style a lot like Frazier's, a relentless bobbing and weaving pressure fighting machine. He was short for a light heavyweight and built like a fire hydrant, tough as nails and almost impossible to push backwards. He turned pro just a month after he got out, not wasting any time. His start was a little rocky, with a record of 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw in his first 3 fights. But then, something just clicked. He started getting better at a crazy pace, perfecting his unique style. He was a sawn-off shotgun in a world of long rifles, a smart pressure fighter. Even though he gave up height and reach to almost everyone, was incredibly hard to hit. He would just relentlessly close the distance, working the body and head with a fury that terrified his opponents. A reporter, watching his non-stop attack, gave him the nickname that would stick with him forever, the Camden Buzzsaw. The name was perfect. He didn't just box. He tore through anyone in his way, racking up 14 straight wins and putting himself on a collision course with destiny. By 1981, Braxton had a mean reputation, but his biggest challenges were still ahead. In a wild twist, he was booked to fight James Scott, the same prison boxing star he trained with back in Rahway, and the fight was going to be on national TV from inside the prison. Braxton, now a free man, had to walk back into the place that once locked him up to prove he belonged on the world stage. He absolutely dominated his old prison mate from the opening bell and won a clear victory. That win shot him straight into a title fight just a few months later, and in December 1981 against the tough WBC light heavyweight champion Matthew Saad Muhammad. Saad Muhammad was a favorite, and Braxton walked into the ring as the underdog. But what happened next was a total beatdown. The Buzzsaw was unleashed. Braxton put a painful, relentless hurting on the champion, stopping him in the 10th round to become the new world champion. He had actually done it, from a prison cell to a world title in less than 4 years. In 1982, Braxton made a move that showed how much he had changed. He had converted to Islam and legally changed his name to Dwight Muhammad Qawi.
That's right. It's not cool, you know. They need to realize that you know, God already gave you the best. He made you excellent.
That's right.
He made you excellent. I heard that before, and I checked it out, and I looked at it.
Yes,
I
sir.
said, man, out of everything in creation, I'm the best.
Go ahead.
Because of this.
That's right.
What he gave me. And so, no matter what I go through, I always know I got that to fall back on. Number one, God.
That's right.
And that's me. And I'm not God, but I mean, that's my thinking.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And the other thing is that the attributes he gave me, you know?
Yes, sir.
It was his way of showing the world he was a new man. That same year, he faced Saad Muhammad in a rematch and proved the first win wasn't a fluke, stopping him even faster in just 6 rounds. At that point, Qawi was an unstoppable champion at the very top of his game. Qawi was a beast as light heavyweight champion, but a unification fight against the slick Michael Spinks ended in a decision loss in 1983. But he was never one to quit. So the tough-as-nails Qawi just moved up in weight to the cruiserweight division. At just 5'7", he was now even more of an undersized underdog. But his power and non-stop style worked perfectly. In July 1985, he flew to South Africa and beat Piet Crew to grab the WBA cruiserweight title, making him a 2-division world champion. His greatest moment, and maybe the fight that defines him, came on July 12, 1986. He defended his title against a young, undefeated challenger named Evander Holyfield. What went down over 15 brutal rounds is still called the greatest cruiserweight fight ever by a lot of people. It was just a brutal 15-round war. 2 incredible fighters refused to back down, trading huge punches in a show of unbelievable courage. In the end, Holyfield got the win by a super thin split decision, but the fight made both of them legends. Qawi later fought as a heavyweight, even stepping in the ring with a comebacking George Foreman. He retired in 1998 with a final record of 41 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw, and 25 knockouts. His incredible story and the ferocious fighting style landed him a spot in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, cementing his legacy as one of the greats. Dwight Muhammad Qawi's story is one of the most amazing in all of sports. But what do you guys think was his greatest achievement? Was it winning a world title after getting out of prison, his epic war with Holyfield, or the life he built after the final bell? Let me know in the comments. If you want more stories about boxing legends, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Dwight Muhammad Qawi's life after boxing was maybe his most important fight. He could have just faded away, becoming another sad story. Instead, he dedicated his life to the kind of work that could have saved him when he was young. He became a drug and alcohol counselor, the youth advocate in New Jersey, working at a rehab center called the Lighthouse. He shared his story with at-risk kids, trying to help them find a better path than he did. At his Hall of Fame induction, he summed up his new mission perfectly. I went from breaking people to fixing them. I believe in healing. I'm a wounded healer. His legacy isn't just about being a 2-division world champion, but about being a powerful symbol of redemption. He proved that where you start doesn't have to decide where you end up. He was the inmate who became a champion, the Camden Buzzsaw who carved his own path, and the wounded healer who spent his days helping others put their own broken pieces back together.